Hi, my name is Shannon. I am a certified yoga instructor, and today we're going to go through a tutorial to learn one of the most powerful back bends in yoga, Ustrasana, also known as Camel pose. We are going to go through a quick warm-up. Then I'm going to take you through 6 different ways that you can practice camel pose so that you can build confidence in this heart opener over time. We will also go through a couple poses to kind of cool everything down. For this tutorial, I recommend having a mat down to allow some padding for your knees. I also recommend trying camel with a chair, something that is stable, that's not going to roll around on the ground. And then also trying camel with some blocks, or if you don't have blocks, you can use thick books. So grab all your props, clear some space around you, and when you're ready, meet me on your mat for the warm-up. So we're going to get started warming up the spine by flexing and extending it with some cat and cows. So come onto all fours in a tabletop position. Your shoulders will be over your wrists, your hips will be over your knees. And then just gently start to flex and extend your spine. So as you inhale, open the chest. As you exhale, start to round your spine, dropping your chin in. Inhaling back through to cow pose. Exhaling into cat, pressing through the palms. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round your spine. Good, moving with your own breath at your own pace here. And just starting to bring some movement into the upper, mid, and lower back. Rather than taking the heart opener from the low back, we really want to focus on the upper and mid. Good, couple more rounds of cat-cow. Letting go of tension, letting go of stress. One more round. And when you feel nice and complete, you can come back to a neutral spine. Of course, if you need to make a little more space on your mat, you can move things off to the side. We're going to come into puppy pose. So puppy pose is a heart opener. You'll start from the table, and then you'll walk your hands forward. The hips are going to stay over the knees. The hands are going to reach to the front, and then you're going to gently melt your chest down. Your tail is going to stay up in the air, just like a puppy. Breathing here, opening the chest and the heart. You'll feel the shoulders opening quite a lot here. It's also called melting heart pose. It's a great preparatory pose before a camel. Good, one more breath. And then slowly starting to come back up. Now we're ready to start our camel tutorial. We're actually going to start with the chair. So go ahead, grab your chair, bring it front and center. Make sure that it's on sturdy ground. And then take a seat on it. Make sure that your feet are firmly planted in the ground. The toes are facing forward and the feet are about hip distance apart. It's about 2 fist width. Give yourself a little bit of space between the back of the chair and the hips. The hips are going to stay pretty steady. And we're going to start to open the chest. You can bring your hands to the edges or the side of the chair. Squeeze your posture muscles here, opening up the chest and the heart. Good, now maybe you just stay here for today and this is enough. Eventually, you can start to tilt back. Your shoulder blades might find the back of the chair. You can always rearrange, slide as you need. And then you may start to fold over the chair. Maybe sliding your hands down the legs of the chair. Good. Feeling the upper and mid back opening here. Breathing. You can keep the chin slightly tucked if that feels a little more stable for your body. Good. Feeling that chest opener, but also feeling the support of the chair. One more inhale. As you exhale, slowly start to come back up. So maybe today, this is your version of camel using the chair. Over time, you can start to work your way into some of the other poses and variations that we'll do that do not use the chair. So if you feel pretty good about that version and you want to try some of the versions without the chair, you can move your chair off to the side. So the next variation that we're going to try is actually going to be from a hero's pose. So sitting back, sits bones towards the heels. And then we're just going to slide the hands to the feet. Now you're welcome to use blocks here. You can use blocks on any height, highest, medium, or lowest height. And you can place the blocks on the outer edges of your feet, and then you'll just start to, again, squeeze your posture muscles. And then picture a string, and that string is going to be lifting your heart up towards the ceiling. And maybe you stay here. You can always move the blocks away, placing the hands down on the ground, tenting the fingertips, and opening the heart. You can stay here, or maybe you lift the hips slightly, expanding the back. Breathing here. And then slowly making your way out of it. Good. Coming back up. Next, we're going to come into a lunging camel. So take your right leg in front, in between your hands. Tuck your back toes. And then come up into a low lunging position. Reaching your arms to the front. Now, your left arm is going to reach back, and it can reach back to a block on the outside of your left foot, or you can place your hand down on the heel. Then, as you open your hips, you'll also lift your chest and your heart. Right arm is going to reach back behind. So doing camel, but on one side of the body. Good. Breathing here. Expanding through the chest. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently come up. Good. Switch your feet. If you're using a block, you can place the block on the outer edge of your foot as well. And then coming into your low lunge. Good. Getting nice and grounded and stable through the front leg. And then taking the right hand. Now, tucking your toes so that the heel is a little bit off the ground. This is going to give yourself a little more space in your camel. Then starting to take the right hand to the right heel or that block. Expanding, again, that string is lifting from your sternum up as you open the heart and reach up and back. That lunging one-sided camel. Breathe here. You'll feel your hips opening as well as your heart opening. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently pressing back. And then planting your hands down, stepping the left leg back. Coming into a kneeling position. The next variation of camel we're going to do is actually keeping the hands on the sacrum. So that flat triangular space in the low back. And we're going to use the hands to actually keep the pelvis quite stable. And again, the heart opener is going to involve really lifting up from the chest. So the pelvis, we're not going to like press it forward like this. We're actually going to keep it somewhat stable as we lift. Now, yes, maybe the hips do have to hinge a bit, but ultimately, when this is coming from the chest, and the arms are really going to help us stay grounded, rooted, and stable. Good breathing here. Now squeeze the elbows together, open up through the heart. The chin can slightly stay tucked if that feels better for your body. Slow, long inhale. Slow exhale. And then gently coming back up. Beautiful work. Now we're gonna take it a little bit deeper. The hands, instead of being on the sacrum, are gonna drop down to the blocks. So when you're ready, starting to come up into your camel, moving the hands down to the blocks, squeezing the posture muscles here, opening up through the chest. Now, similarly, you're still going to have that string, and that string is going to be opening up through the chest. Good, creating space here. The glutes are lightly engaged, but they're not gripping. Good, breathing. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently starting to come up, giving your body a moment to reorient. And the last variation we're going to come to today is going to be the variation where we're not using props. So again, take camel pose at your own pace. If you're not ready for this variation, that's totally okay. It's just something to work towards over time. Now, you can have your toes tucked or untucked in camel, your choice here. I find that when the toes are tucked, it gives a little bit more elevation so that the hands have a little less far that they have to drop back. Again, initiating the movement here from the chest, from the heart, and then gently dropping the hands down to the heels. Squeeze the posture muscles open through the heart. And then start to come a little further into it. Good. Think about lengthening through the low back. Breathing here. Maybe you keep the toes tucked. Maybe you explore untucking them. Seeing what variation feels most stable for your body. I recommend keeping the eyes open here if you can. Again, you can always tuck the chin. That feels a little more spacious for the neck, especially the back of the neck. One more inhale. As you exhale, gently walk the hands back up. Good. Now to cool down from camel pose, I recommend before coming into any counter poses, just taking a moment in hero's pose to kind of wind down and let everything integrate. So sitting, the hips back towards the heels. You can place one hand on your heart, the other hand on your belly. Camel pose is very deep heart opener. It really activates the fourth chakra. It can be a very beautiful, deep expression of love and vulnerability. But it also can be quite intense. So giving your body a moment here to integrate before moving too fast or moving on with your day. And then once you feel ready, you can come into a counter pose. We're going to do a closed-legged child's pose. And what this is going to allow the spine to do is round forward for a little counter stretching to the spine. You'll just start to walk your hands down the thighs, folding your belly down, bringing the head down into a rolled up little child. You can always take one of your blocks and slide it underneath the forehead here, if that feels a little more spacious. Letting your body be heavy.
You can stay in child's pose as long as you need. Feel grounded, stable, and secure.
When you feel ready, you can come back up. And that concludes our Ustrasana Camel tutorial. Leave me a comment below. Let me know how your upper body is feeling after this practice. And remember to come back to this practice again and again to build up your confidence over time. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you again on the mat soon.